What's up, vinyl community? It's your boy Chris coming at you live, as always, from the man cave here the day after Christmas. Hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas. Hope everybody had, a great meal. Hope everybody had great times. Hope everybody had great time with their family and friends. For those of you with kids, nothing better than to be a parent at Christmas time, in my personal opinion. Jesus, I love it. It's the greatest. Hope everybody got, if you're a record collector. Okay, so one of the things about being a record collector that's been so hard for me is that nobody ever wants to buy me records. Nobody wants to make an attempt at buying me a record because they're scared they're going to buy me something I already have. And, all these years that's been just. That's been that's been an understood, that's been an understood worry. I mean, what do you buy for the guy who has everything? And not that I have everything, but usually if I like it music-wise, I usually have it. But what I started doing this past year is every time box sets and stuff like that kind of fell out of favor with me because I just couldn't afford them. It's not that I didn't want them. It's just I couldn't afford them. They come out, I couldn't afford them. I'd pass on them. Yada yada. That's what I've done the last 3 or 4 years. I used to have a ton of box sets, and I got down to the point where I had none. And then this year I acquired a few. Like I got the Lockjaw box set. I got the Hassan Ibn Ali box set this past RSD. I got a few. I mean, there's more than that, but that's all that comes to me at the top of the head here. But yeah, so I put all of that stuff that just come up to me at a moment in which I couldn't afford it, or a moment in which I couldn't do anything about it, on a wish list. And at the end of the year, usually my mom and dad, they'll go get, my wife and I something big. They'll go get us, last year they bought me a big grill. It was huge, one of those green egg grills. I love it. It's just wonderful, but they're expensive, and that's, they got us that, and they got us a couple other things, some grill accessories. So usually every year there's that thing, This year there wasn't really that thing. So I was like, okay, and then they're driving me crazy, and I'm like, all right, fine, I'll send you my Amazon want list, and you do what you want with it, okay? If it's driving you that crazy, okay? If it's driving you that crazy, I'll send you my damn Amazon want list. So I sent it to them, expecting them maybe to get me, there might have been 50, records, maybe 20, 25 box sets on there. I'm thinking, they'll probably get me 5 or 6 of them, no big deal, a whole lot better than what I was going to get myself if I waited. Cheers to all you guys. Merry Christmas again. But they got me a ton of stuff. They did. They got me a ton of stuff. I was amazed. It blew me away. So before we get started with that, we do Secret Santa. Me, my brothers, my brother, my sister, my mom and dad, a couple of my cousins. I mean, we do Secret Santa in a small group every year. And I always love it when somebody close to me gets me, because I know I'm going to get something cool, because the people close to me get me. Well, I pulled this hat out of a bag on Christmas Eve, and I'm like, it can only be 3 or 4 people. And it turns out it was my nephew, my 16-year-old nephew, Joseph, who grabbed me this beautiful gray on white San Francisco 49ers hat. I love it. I do. For anybody who wants to go in the comments and put that we got obliterated by the Ravens last night, yes, we did. Hey, can't win them all. I'd rather get it out of the way now. Playoffs coming up. We'll see what happens. They played a good game. They were better than us. All right, so to the records on Christmas Day. Guys, I'm going to try to go through these as fast as I can. I'm going to give extra detail to what needs extra detail. Get started off with a few TPs, a few tune poets. All right, The Right Touch by Duke Pearson. Okay, so I have an original pressing of this. I wanted to compare it to a tone poet. So I put it on my watch list. Well, my parents snagged it up for me. So see what happens with that. I love the record. Freddie Hubbard, Stanley Turrentine, James Baldwin. I mean, it's a great record. Next up is Out of the Blue by Sonny Red. And naturally, I wanted to compare this to my original mono press. So, I mean, a whole lot cheaper than my original mono press. It's one of my favorites on Blue Note. Wynton Kelly, Sam Jones, Paul Chambers, Roy Brooks, and Jimmy Cobb. Yeah, can't wait to throw it on. It's just one of those that, again, when it came out at the time, I had other things on my mind. Things were going on. This was a big reason for the 6-month absence on videos, guys, is a lot of shit happened to me this year. And I'm trying to decide whether or not to disclose it or not. And by the way, no reason for y'all to be concerned. It was just a lot of coincidental stuff. You know, I'm not mental or anything. I mean, yeah, I wasn't thrown in the mental asylum. I mean, they didn't take me down to Bull Street, which is a common expression for those of us in South Carolina for when you go crazy. Because the insane asylum, if you will, used to be on Bull Street in Columbia. It's no longer there, of course, but that's still a common expression. There was no reason for that. I'm all good. I just had some medical stuff. And then when it wasn't hitting me, it was hitting my wife and my daughter. Just all year long. So a big part of my 6-month absence from making videos is that. Lee Morgan Infinity. You guys know how much I love Lee Morgan. Probably second favorite jazz artist. Okay, but when this came out, I didn't even know it was coming out. That would normally never skip my radar, but because I had so much going on this year, it skipped my radar. And then I added it to my watch list, and bam, so I've never heard it. It's Jackie McLean, Larry Willis, Reggie Workman, and Billy Huggins. Can't wait. Next up, Middle TP. Easterly Winds, Jack Wilson with Lee Morgan, Garnet Brown, Jackie McLean, Bob Cranshaw, Billy Higgins. Guys, this is one of my favorite late 60s pieces on Blue Note. I love this album. I love Jack Wilkins. I love Wilkins again. There I go. I love Jack Wilson. I love Lee Morgan. I love Jackie McLean. I've got an original mono pressing, but you don't see very many original mono pressings of this rolling around. But I wanted to compare it to this. So, find out. I doubt I'll do a shootout video. For the most part, I'll leave those to Water Brown. But he seems to do them better than I do anyway. Kenny Burrell, KB Blues with Hank Mobley, Horace Silver, Doug Watkins, and Louis Haynes. I've never even heard this, I don't think. I could be wrong. But it's just another one of those ones. This one, I knew it was coming out. I just, at the time, the more important things going on in life. Next up, okay, I used to have an original box set of this, but I sold it when some stuff came up. I either sold it when some stuff came up, or I sold it or traded it for original jazz. One of the two, I can't remember, but I always wanted the music back. It's the Jimi Hendrix Experience. It's, of course, authorized by the Hendrix family. It's an 8 LP box set. This thing is sturdy. I won't open it and prop the plastic until I listen to it. That's my rule. Like, even when you guys have ever seen me, like, do an unboxing video or something like that, or if I'm opening the plastic, I'm getting ready to listen to it. The plastic won't come off this bitch until I listen to it. So, which, of course, I've heard this box set before. And, of course, I love it. It's Jimi fucking Hendrix. Hard to go wrong. I mean, but no clue what the original pressing on that's going for these days, by the way. No clue. But that box set, I think, was a couple hundred. And my mom and dad had made a comment about how eclectic my requests were across the board. But that's my taste across the board. Of course, a lot of you guys, I've gotten comments over the years about how it seems like all I listen to is jazz and yada, 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 yada. And into which I always look at these people and like, y'all don't know me. You don't know me, shut up. I don't know. Anybody who's been here long enough. My favorite music to listen to is, of course, jazz. My favorite music to buy is jazz. I don't have to justify this. Why am I trying to justify this? Anyway, Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory. Guys, this is one of my favorite records ever. Ever. Ex-girlfriend actually bought me this album. At the time that I got bought this album, and it was either 2002 or 2003. I can't remember which year this came out. At the time I got bought this, I was 17 or 18, and at the time I was balls deep in hip-hop. It's all I ever listened to. 90s hip-hop, late 80s hip-hop, early 2000s hip-hop, that's all I listened to. But when this came out, the very first time I heard In the End, I knew something was different. And it's not even the best track on this album for those of you who love the album. It's not. So, still awesome, but it's not even the best track on the album. And I think this one's got like 4 LPs, 3 CDs, 4 CDs, something like that, and a couple of DVDs. Man, I'm looking forward to really getting into this box set. I really am. It's one of those ones that when it came out, it was like, man, I want that. But at the time, I just really couldn't afford it. Man, looking forward to it. And it's one of the things like when it was given to me, my wife was like, oh, finally, he's got something that I'll listen to with him. Like, yeah. My wife is very much late 90s, early 2000s alternative and pop. That's what my wife listens to. Very much what she listens to. The next one, it's one that wasn't really that expensive. I just never really got around to buying it. It's Bill Evans, The Complete Village Vanguard Recordings, 1961. It's 4 LPs on 180 gram vinyl. It's Bill Evans. It's going to be great. Guaranteed. But I just, Bill Evans, Scott LaFaro, Paul Motion. I mean, it's going to be flat out wonderful. But I just hadn't gotten around to buying it. It's been out for a little stretch now. But I have it now. The price had done a decent little dip on it too when my parents grabbed it for me. So that's awesome. Lucky them. This one is an album I've never owned at all. It's always eluded me. It pisses me off that it's always eluded me, but it's always eluded me. I've had a couple of them like right there at the cusp, and it just never happened. It says Jackie McLean, Demon's Dance, excuse me. Love the album cover, love the album title. The lineup is great with Woody Shaw, McLean, Lamont Johnson, Scott Holt, and Jack DeJohnette. It's 60s Blue Note stuff, but it's absolutely phenomenal. So this is the only copy I've ever owned, so I can't compare it to shit. One of these days I'll own an original pressing, I have no doubt, but it hadn't happened yet. Sometimes I find some of those late 60s Blue Note records that, everybody thinks are so easy. So much easier to find. For me, not at all. I mean, I don't know. I guess it just depends. Some people have different luck in different ways. So, all right, haul over this next bag here. Next up is an album, of course, that is. I've always loved this album. It's arguably the best post-Beatles solo project, arguably. And the only reason I put solo like that is because, McCartney, you have to include his Wings stuff. And for me, the best post-Beatles project is Band on the Run. I would put this second. Don't kill me. And if you do kill me, I don't give a fuck. Just being honest. But there's some great songwriting and musicianship on this record. George Harrison, All Things Must Pass, 50th anniversary. And this is 50th anniversary done right. I've wanted it since it was released. 5 LPs, 180 gram, previously unreleased studio outtakes and demos. Like I said, I've wanted it since it was announced. But they asked a little more for it than I kind of thought should be asked for it. And I just didn't get it. But I ended up with it anyway. So I can't even begin to tell you how thrilled I am. I don't know. But all of these, as you guys can tell, are in the plastic. I mean, I got a 7-year-old, guys. I've been playing Mario Kart all day. So, I asked my daughter this morning when we got up, what do you want to do, baby? And she wanted to play Mario Kart. This is what I've been doing since day after Christmas. And this one is going to throw some of you who don't know me better. But I love these box sets by this band. It's one of my favorite bands of all time, period. Any genre, anything. And I actually love, the Dio years. And I love them. I love all the lead singers, honestly, in their own way. But yeah, the Ozzy stuff's where it's at. But it's Black Sabbath's Paranoid Super Deluxe box set, nice and sturdy. I almost grabbed a used copy of it at the Asheville Record Fair in August, but just didn't. And I changed my mind about it after I walked around a little while, and then I walked back and it was gone. So I was kind of pissed about that. I was a little bummed. I was like, man, I should have grabbed it when I was over there. But now I've got one sealed, so not so mad anymore. Live in Europe 3 LP collection featuring 2 concerts previously unreleased on vinyl is on here. And then, of course, the album's on here. Quadradisc mix on a stereo. It's I can't wait to open it. And again, I would open it for you guys to show you everything, but a lot of you guys either A, already own it, but again, that's just my rule. It's just what I do. I'm not going to open it until I'm ready to listen to it. I'm just not. It's just me. It's a whole experience for me when I pop the plastic on something like that. Next up is Freddie Hubbard, Blue Spirits. I have, I think, a UA pressing of this. I think. But to be honest with you, I bought this to see if I like it better. Because if I like this one better, I'll sell that UA press. Because the UA press is worth more money. And I only, for the most part, only need, 1 copy per album. I think I've only got a couple albums that are exceptions so far. Like I've got 3 copies of Blue Train. I got, well, shit, that's all that really comes to mind. But anyway, phenomenal record. And, Freddie Hubbard, James Spaulding, Joe Henderson, Keanu Zavaldi, Harold Mayburn Jr., Larry Ridley, Clifford Jarvis, and Big Black Conga. It's a phenomenal record. And available to you for under $40. The next up, I put this on my list. For some reason, it come out, and immediately when it came out, it's not an expensive one at all. But when it came out, I just wanted to remember it more so than anything else. So I threw it on my list. It's one that I love Spotify, guys. I threw... if you throw like, I want to say it followed up a Sturgill Simpson song that I had put on Spotify. And I love Sturgill Simpson. Or maybe a Tyler Childers song. I love Tyler Childers. But I'm at work. I'm in my area. Got my AirPods in, listening. Usually I welcome any new stuff that comes on, any artist that I can discover. And this is one that is not a new artist, but it's one that I discovered. And it's Charlie Crockett, the man from Waco. I think I've already showed you guys a few Charlie Crockett records. This one's my favorite. I listen to Charlie Crockett constantly at work. I listen to him a lot any other time. And this is like his 9th or 10th record. So by no means is he new. But God damn it, they don't play good country on country radio. They don't. So how do you guys find out about this stuff? This is how you find out about it. You buy streaming and you listen. But anyway, highly recommend this guy to any of you guys that like singer, songwriter, real country music. It's once again, the man from Waco, Charlie Crockett. And you can get it for under $20. Again, I could have popped out and bought that anytime. I just set that really as a reminder for myself. The next up's Sonny Rollins' Go West, the Contemporary Records albums. Contemporary Records 70th Anniversary Series. This is Way Out West. Sonny Rollins and the Contemporary Leaders and Alternate Takes. And it's all analog with Bernie Grumman. Ashley Kahn, of course, the historian, does 32-page booklet. Jazz legends Bernie Kessel, Hampton Halls, Leroy Vinegar, Shelly Manne, and more on the collection. The only reason I didn't pull a trigger on it immediately when it came out is I have all the albums. I mean, I don't have the alternate takes, but I got the albums. But I knew that it was going to sound great, and I was like, if nothing else, I'd love to compare it. So I kind of put it on the back burner. I went ahead and threw it on that list, and now I have it. The next up is interesting. I've owned this collection of music quite a few times. I can't even begin to tell you guys. But it's the Beatles, 1962 to 1966, and 1967 to 1970. But they threw it in a 6 LP box set, and they went ahead and threw the new single Now and Then on it, which, by the way, shows you the power of AI. And which, by the way, the way they threw it together sounds great. I won't take anything away from it. And then they threw some other new tracks on it, which I love. It's the box set. Cool to have it in a nice entire box set. It really just is. And they added, like I said, they added some tracks onto each side. Oh, cool. They added Here, There, and Everywhere. Oftentimes Here, There, and Everywhere is my favorite Beatles song. I mean, I go back and forth, and then sometimes I Want You, She's So Heavy will be my favorite Beatles song. And Oh Darling will be my favorite Beatles song. And Glass Onion's been my favorite Beatles song. It's almost never the oh my God super popular ones. Like Yellow Submarine will never be my favorite Beatles song. It's just not going to happen. It's not that I've got anything against it. It's just, man, it fucks with the flow of that album, doesn't it? I've always thought it messed with the flow of that album. So, not that I've ever had anything against it. As a standalone single, I think it's great. But there's something about that flow. You get into a certain flow, and then, bam, it just always screwed me up. But anyway, cool to have this 6 LPs, and it's like, I think, it's half speed mastered. I want to say it was $160. I don't know. It didn't cost me a damn thing, turns out. But thrilled to have it. And I got 2 more to show you. This one was one that my mom bought me. It's an artist that we grew up listening to. She really grew up listening to. And then, of course, she would play for me as I was growing up. It's Tanya Tucker, and the name of the album is While I'm Living. And as far as I know, it's her most recent album. Okay, so my mom bought it for me because she listened to it and loved it and thought that I would as well. So that's all, which I think is so cool. Guys, do that more often. I mean, if you got a friend, you know their taste, and I mean, why not? That's kind of like how, the VCLT, remember how that used to be? Well, maybe some of you guys still get VCLT. Maybe some of you guys still give VCLT, but it's been a while since I've given or received VCLT. Not that I care about that. That's just the sharing of the music is what was so cool to me. I mean, you could just drop me a comment of, hey, Chris, if you like this, then you should like this, and then I'll go stream it on Spotify. To me, that's just as cool. Just as cool. But, yeah, my mom dropped me this one. I've never heard a damn tune on it, but Tanya Tucker, While I'm Living. Produced by Brandy Carlisle and Shooter Jennings, so that's cool. But she says she loves the entire record and she wants to know how I feel about it. So I want to listen to it. Again, never heard a single note off of it. And then one more to show you guys, and this is a behemoth. This one was definitely at a price range where it's like, okay, I'm not buying this right now. My wife will probably kill me. Jeez. But I love this album. I love this band. I don't give a damn what anybody else really thinks. You got people with certain opinions. I mean, for the most part, well-loved and respected band. And then a lot of times people try to shit on them for different reasons or another. Kurt Cobain couldn't really play guitar, yada, yada, yada. Like, I got a guy at work who was like, oh, they always unplugged him when he played guitar. He couldn't play guitar, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. And I'm always like, well, yeah, well, who wrote his fucking songs? And he was like, oh, yeah, well, somebody probably, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I like the finished product. So, 30th anniversary edition, Nirvana in Utero. Which I hear a lot of people that'll still say it's their best album. It's not, Nevermind is. But, yeah, I mean, everybody is always trying to come up with something other than the obvious answer. Because, you can't be obvious. Obviously, as a music fan, you can't be obvious. Well, sometimes the obvious answer is just the answer, guys. Sometimes it just is. And in this case, to me, it is. But I love In Utero, and I love Bleach. 30th anniversary edition again, Nirvana in Utero, super deluxe edition, 8 LPs, 180 gram, 72 total tracks, 53 unreleased live tracks in utero, plus 5 B-sides, bonus tracks, newly remastered, 2 unreleased concerts, Los Angeles 93, Seattle 94, a 48-page hardcover book with unreleased photos, 6 bonus live tracks from In Utero Tour, and then a bunch of collectibles. Has anybody done an unboxing for this? Somebody had to have, right? Obviously. Somebody had to have. It came out this year. Has anybody unboxed this? If not, you guys let me know in the comments and I might just do that. Because, I don't know. It seems like a fucking cool unboxing. If only 1 or 2 people have done it, I'll still do it. But if 30 people have done it, I know it's a behemoth and I know it was expensive. And I know I'm excited. Let me know in the comments, please, guys. All right, so anyway, that's my Christmas on vinyl. Again, I usually never get records, but I guess I figured out the way to get records on Christmas. Add a shitload of them to a want list and send them out to people. And, you know, the people came through for me, especially my mom and dad, geez. But anyway, I hope you guys all had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you guys have all had wonderful meals, wonderful time with your families. And I hope that you guys aren't too sick going back to work for a couple of days before you get another little small break for New Year's. And until next time, until next video, keep dropping that in YouTube.